This is the last episode.
This will sound better in post when I compress it. That is the sound of a RCA Victor's big band more greatest hits CD opening and closing.
Oh, it sounded like you just dropping something multiple times over and over.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a CD. It was a CD case opening and closing. It was a big band CD. On it is Glenn Miller, Benny Goodman, Buddy Rich, Duke Ellington, Woody Herman.
Woody
I don't remember
Harrelson?
why. Yep, Woody Harrelson.
Well, he's the one who did the really bad AMA, right?
Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, he's the one that has the most like the really famous bad AMA where people were like fighting him on it the entire time. I think that was him.
I don't know it, but that'd be fun to look up. Yeah, look it up. I'm curious.
I remember.
While you do that with your mechanical keyboard, I'm going to say, hello, guys. Welcome to the last episode podcast. My name is This Is, and this episode we're talking about. This is what podcast? I haven't done that intro in a while, so I forgot what it was.
Yeah, he is the one who did like the worst AMA in celebrity history. It was really terrible. God, that was so long ago.
I don't remember this. I wasn't there.
I think
I wasn't even on the internet.
The good YouTube boy Wang did a video about this.
I don't even know who that is.
I got Wang on YouTube, literally spelled as in the word Wang.
I know Wing Time.
He is an Asian man with a very, very nice set of facial hair.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he talked about God, I forgot about that fucking Woody Harrelson bit. It was him.
Interesting.
It was he spent half of the AMA trying to divert back to the movie he was trying to promote on the AMA instead of just answering questions.
Oh.
Just, hey, this isn't about the movie I'm in. Or he would try to like be smooth about it and be like, I don't know about that, but in the movie Rampart, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, no, just answer the questions.
That's hilarious.
Just do what AMAs are, where it's just you just talk to people. That's what they're supposed to do.
Did you see the video of Bert Kreischer talking to Adam Sandler?
No, but that sounds like the worst or best thing ever.
So, why
does Adam Sandler make such trash? But he's now like, but when he actually kind of gives a shit, it's pretty good.
I think, because he doesn't have to. He's just like he can make money off of garbage, and then just spend.
I've never thought he was one of the best to ever do it, or even close.
No. For anything,
but when
really.
he tries, or like when you can tell he's alive, it's fun.
The best thing he's ever made is Click.
Oh, don't you even start with Click.
The greatest
I
thing.
like the part where he slows down time to watch the boobs bounce. It's very funny.
It's the best thing he's ever done.
Isn't the crux of that movie is that he goes to the Beyond part of a Bed Bath & Beyond?
Yes.
Is that seriously? That's the joke, right? Is that he goes to the Beyond part of Bed Bath & Beyond?
Dude, the plot.
The joke I told when I was 5 years old.
This movie was legitimately pitched. So the term elevator pitch is not like that's not a thing anymore. Like you don't pitch movies in elevators. However, I 100% believe that movie was pitched in an elevator. That was Adam Sandler was in an elevator actually with some movie producer and was like, "Hey, imagine the Beyond part of Bed Bath & Beyond."
Well, doesn't he run? He runs his own company, right? Hattie Madison, that's him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he runs or runs it, but that is his his movie company.
Yes.
I don't know. I think they only do his movies.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about. The only thing about Adam Sandler that I know at all is I met Rob Schneider once, and he was a really nice guy.
Yeah, and then you watched his hit Netflix series that nobody ever talks about because it's so terrible.
I didn't, but I did watch his appearance on Game Grumps, and I like that because I like Game Grumps. Shout out to Aaron for being the greatest YouTuber of all time, the greatest Newgrounds creator of all time.
The most successful one, that's for sure.
Oh, that is objectively the greatest Newgrounds creator of all time.
He made the most money.
That is.
But it's like, yeah, Adam Sandler. Like, did you watch Uncut Gems when that came out?
No, I didn't. I don't even know what that is exactly.
It's a good movie, and he's like a main character in it, and he's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure
because he's like he gives a shit. He's like a compelling character in that movie.
He's every once in a while,
dude, and it's like, oh, you like hair still? I thought that went away from you when you made Pixels.
Yeah, Voxels.
That's the sequel.
Yes, I wish. That's the only thing I wanted out of Pixels was a sequel to be named Voxels. It's the only thing
also,
I want.
I kind of like him as Dracula in the Hotel Transylvania movie. I kind of like.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's really good in that actually.
No, because Hotel Transylvania is him and a bunch of his buddies voicing all the monsters, and you can tell because none of them try except for him as Drac.
Yeah,
and it's like, why are you trying when none of your friends are giving a shit? They're just being themselves. They're not putting on a voice. It's very weird.
I think the greatest thing with Adam Sandler though is he is able to make a career off of just I want to make movies with my friends
and go on vacation. Yeah,
that's it, and that's his life.
But
and
I do kind of respect that he doesn't hide it in a way.
No, he's just like it's like yeah, I make what I make, and I have a great time doing it. All my friends have a great time doing it. I've been able to have my friends make lots of money, and that's great, and that's my life, and I think that's awesome. But anyway, Bert Kreischer did an interview with him on Bert Kreischer was on Whitney Cummings' podcast, something like that. I don't know what they were on or something, but they were on some like live stream where it was Bert Kreischer at Whitney Cummings' house, and they called Adam Sandler, and this was the first time Bert Kreischer had ever talked to Adam Sandler, and Bert Kreischer fangirled so hard and so terribly and didn't know at all until the next day. Like he didn't know. He was when he was talking to him, he started like he said his movie wrong. He's like, oh yeah, like after this, like my kids and I are gonna watch like whatever, like Unusual Suspects or whatever, like whatever, like instead of Uncut Gems or whatever the name of the actual movie is. Like he just named the movie wrong. He was like, I love your production company, Happy Gilmore, whatever. Like he just didn't get anything correct. And then he asked him like, hey, do you have Netflix? Bert Kreischer asked Adam Sandler if he had Netflix. And it's one of those things that like on the surface, like when you're watching it the first time, you're thinking, oh man, he's just floundering. Like this is probably just like one of his comedy idols and he just doesn't know what to say. So, I get it. That happens to everyone. Anyone who ever meets like people like that, there's always someone that can do that to you. So I get it. But then afterwards, you find that like Bert Kreischer's like, that went great. I thought I did a really good job. Like he was so oblivious to the fact that like, no, Bert, you don't know what you just did.
I don't think Bert Kreischer is the person who would ever know.
No, dude. And so
like, even before you told me, I'm like, I'm gonna bet you anything. He loves everything Adam Sandler does, even his crap he's done for the past year.
Yes.
Because that's why, and that's why I don't like Bert Kreischer's a lot of the stuff that he does. Because it's not
that's fine
for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's not punching down like a lot of Adam Sandler's movies are, where it's just, hey, what's the joke? They're Mexican and they're a gardener, or they're fat so they fall down.
No, no.
A lot of that shit. Yeah. It's not that.
No, Bert doesn't.
Like, I bet you anything he loves everything he does.
It's lowbrow humor for sure, or it's low. Yeah, it's not.
It's punching down. Which is the worst kind of humor.
Yeah, but I want to say Bert Kreischer and Bill Burr have a podcast now called the Bill Burt Podcast, which is I like their podcast. Their dynamic is hilarious because you got Bert Kreischer, who's just like the nicest man in the world, and then you have Bill Burr, who's just the angriest man. Not angry, just grumpy old man. At this point,
he's become what he always wanted to be.
Yes, and it's great. And it's great.
Bitter, bald man.
Yeah, and it's really fun watching.
For no real good reason anymore.
No,
but it's been around too long as a pseudo character / a real part of him that it's not going to go away, which is kind of its own tragedy.
Yeah, and he knows it.
But when he's happy, he's genuinely happy. Like he loves fucking cooking for some reason now.
He loves cooking. He loves cooking and drumming.
Anytime he makes like a pie, weird.
Dude, anytime he talks about drumming, it's just like, all right, time to.
It's very sweet. It's a little annoying because he kind of doesn't shut up about it. Like that's why I stopped listening to the podcast for a while, because he would not shut up about it. It was really boring after the 15th time in a row. But it's kind of sweet. Like, oh no, he still has like this blood in him that still cares about things.
But I was watching their podcast and Bill Bill was saying that like, yeah, I heard about that and I watched for the first 5 seconds and I had to turn it off. I like, you're my friend Bert, and I didn't want to look at you differently after. Like, I didn't want to watch that video and look at you like a different person.
Yeah, that's real. That's real friendship.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Because it was really bad. I recommend anyone just type Bert Kreischer Adam Sandler. It's
if you want enjoys cring.
If you want a good like a really good cringe, that was it.
I don't have an appetite for new cringe. I just can't do it. I haven't been able to do it in years. But I have a soft spot for specific ones back in the day. then I'm like that's
what?
still kind of fun.
What's your favorite cringe?
I think about Gilgamesh, that anime convention commercial I talk about all the time. I think about a denotated Wham at Minecon, the first Minecon.
Mm-hmm.
There's like specific ones where I'm like, these ones aren't like, I don't feel that bad for the person who's doing it. So it still makes me like, oh, that's kind of dumb, and I still can smile at it. But anything new, it's like, oh, this all it feels too mean. Like I can't do it, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
I can't watch people like fumble an interview really poorly, or
it's hard.
Like start sweating. Like I can't do it. Even people that I don't like, I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
I can't watch people socially crumble. I can't do it. I can't watch people erode away any of the real fake confidence that they were giving off or just embarrass themselves on accident. Like I feel bad.
Yeah.
And then there's the heroes like the red shirt guy at BlizzCon, who speaks a little odd, but does get the upper hand and does completely get the crowd on his side about WoW lore that the devs fucked up on. And at the end of it, people are cheering for him, and he got put in game. Like his shirt is in game, and like he's a character in game, like as the lore.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
It's really famous. The red shirt guy is like famous as just the red shirt guy.
I don't know why I don't know this. I don't know anything about WoW. I guess so.
It's a famous bit. It's not Leroy Jenkins famous, but it's still really famous.
Yes, fair. And it's scripted.
Even though Leroy Jenkins was just like a scripted bit they did that got really big for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I can watch this shit because it starts off as embarrassing and it goes like, no, this guy's right. Fuck these people. He's right.
Yeah.
That's why when he goes, thank you, the crowd goes, yeah. They start clapping for him. It's so funny.
Fun.
Because the beginning you hear like some people kind of laughing. Where it's like, oh, this guy's speaking like he's always a little awkward. Like this guy's kind of a little bit weird. And then people going, you see like the crowd go, yeah, this guy is right. That is true. How'd they fuck that up? And then at the end they go, and at the end like the guys go like, yeah, we'll fix that. We'll get. Oh, look, they're kind of laughing like, yeah, we'll get right on that. And he goes, thank you. And he goes, fuck yeah! And it's so funny every time I watch it. It's so good.
I can't think of. I don't know. I asked that question, and the entire time I'm thinking if I can remember. I've seen
like classic,
a lot.
Quote unquote classic cringe. You go back and go, yeah, that's still kind of good. I still laugh at it.
Yeah, I can't.
The king is for me after all these years is still Kingdom Hearts parking lot. That is still the king.
I don't know what that is at all.
It's super famous. People don't even care about Kingdom Hearts. It's two people out in the snow in a parking lot, LARPing and acting out Kingdom Hearts characters with like lightsabers fighting.
I know what this is.
It's really famous.
Yes.
I love it so much. It holds such a place in my heart.
That's the video. Anytime anyone brings up LARPing, that's the video. They're like, so this?
Yeah, and it's kind of correct.
It's correct. But I
think about that, and I'm like, if I watch that now, I couldn't handle it, but because I've seen it before, and it's just that's a part of me. I'm like, I fucking love this video. It's the best.
Oh yeah, it's just people having genuine fun.
Because it's so funny because they break character in the middle of it, and I laugh every time.
Yeah,
because I know the lines they're Kingdom Hearts 1. They're saying certain lines, and they're like, dude, don't go so hard, and they go back to it like in a second, and it makes me laugh every time. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
Because they're being dramatic, and they're doing a decent job at what they're trying to do, and then they go, dude, don't go so hard, and then they go back, they cut back, and it's so funny to me every time. It's so good.
It's stupid because the one that's coming to mind, I know it's not the cringiest thing, like at all, but it's the one that I can never stop thinking of.
Is it Lil Wayne playing guitar?
Oh, that one is really good. That is up
really
there
funny.
Actually. That's actually up there for me, like legit.
It's really good.
It's Please Clap I know it's not that cringe, but it's one of those things that like has stuck in. Yeah, it's stuck in my head for so long at this point that I think objectively I have to look and say that like that. I think that's my favorite cringe moment, just because it is imprinted on me.
Please Clap.
I am a different person because of Please Clap.
I'm a different person because I've seen Peggle 2 announced at E3.
Oh,
but I love it unironically. Just the guy
great.
going Peggle 2, an explosion that happens for fucking Peggle 2.
Yeah, and I'm right there to be like, fuck yeah.
Peggle's fucking awesome. I don't care what anyone says.
Dude, Peggle is great.
Where's a true game of skill?
Peggle Battle Royale win. I don't know how that would even work.
I would play it.
Dude,
There's 99 pegs and one ball.
Shout out to my friend Ricky at So Close to Ride on Twitter, one of the greatest Twitter accounts actually. Him and I have come up with an idea that we need to pitch and make it happen, or we have friends who can make this happen. It actually wouldn't be that hard to make. A Dig Dug Battle Royale would be great. Like a small scale Battle Royale, not like 100 people, but like let's say like 20 people playing Dig Dug.
Against each other or like a PvE race?
No, like against each other. I think that'd be really fun.
But would it still play like the original Dig Dug where it's very tight and grid-based movement?
Yes.
Or is it analog movement, and that's how?
I think it has to be grid-based, right, for it to feel.
Because at that point, it's just dueling with one-hit swords, which games already do in the modern game.
Yeah,
it's really great.
It's one of those things that
is one of my favorite games ever for multiplayer. Nidhogg 2 is a better game, but I hate the art style of it. And that game's just you fight with swords, you die in one hit, and that's it.
Okay,
and it's fun. It's got really good music in the second game too, which is a bummer because 2's music is so good and the gameplay is better in every way, but it looks so terrible. Well, to me, I just don't like the look of it. Because the look of it is like 90s gross out art style, and I think in that specific context of that game, I don't think it lands. Like it's not bad art or bad design. I just think it's really unappealing.
Yeah.
But the video game part is better. But the unappealing part of that art style is so much for me that I don't like that game.
Damn.
I've never had that before with a game, ever.
Speaking of music, that reminded me, I'm replaying Division 2 right now. Speaking of Ricky, it's at So Close to Right on Twitter. Shout out again 2 times. We're playing Division 2, and I think this is the first time I actually played Division 2 with headphones on, because I'm playing with him and with chat or whatever.
Being gamer.
I am. I didn't realize how good the music is in Division 2. It's weird how good the music. Yeah, I did. Like, it's one of those things that like no one notices or cares about. I don't think
because you're talking with your friends over the music and the sound effects for the most part.
Yeah, but I'm playing and we stopped and I was like, dude, listen to the music for a second. And him and both of us were like, wow, this is like really like actually. Why is this good? Like why is Division 2's music of all things like I think actually underrated. Like I think it's actually really good. It's music that I think I would actually listen to on its own. It's a soundtrack that I think is actually really good.
I think the Division 1 got put on, like the soundtrack for that got put on Spotify. Like,
I am going to look.
But then I went, hey, why would I ever listen to any Ubisoft soundtrack ever?
Yeah.
So I never even looked at it.
I'm going to type in Division 2 and see it. Oh, yes.
It's Ubisoft does put their music on Spotify pretty often for their game.
Shout out to Ola Strand. Is the name of the
name?
Yeah. Is it Ola? It's OLASTRANDH.
That's a sci-fi.
This is some Swedish name or sci-fi name. Yeah.
Or
either
French,
you're an alien.
Because Ubisoft.
It's actually probably French.
Ubisoft has lots of French.
Yeah. Is Frenchies bad? Is that a bad word? I don't know. Is that a bad thing to say? I say Frenchies. Okay.
I don't think it's the same level of like of using Jews in a specific tense.
Yeah,
because that's a real word that people use to refer to Jewish people all the time, even including themselves. But there's a way to say it where you go,
yeah.
What the fuck you just say? Wait, say that again, but not like an asshole.
My favorite thing. What was I forgot what it's in.
Same with. Okay, but also like the made up one that you have is blacks.
Blacks is great.
Because no one says that in like a non-confrontal or confrontal way. That's too easy. That's too nice.
It's just the blacks. Like it's not.
There are many other terms that are used.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to say
that's why. Because like no one ever uses like the simple one. Because some people like take words that are not offensive to make them offensive to make a point out of it.
Yeah.
No one does that because they already made up all the offensive ones hundreds of thousands of years ago. They still use them.
I forgot what I was watching where someone asked if the word Mexican is offensive.
No, it's not.
No, I know, but
I've never heard that word used aggressively ever.
It was like a show. It was a show. It was like a bit in some. It was a bit. I don't know if it was a stand-up bit or a show or something.
That could be a good bit. I could see that going somewhere.
Yeah, I remember it being really funny. They're just like, "No, you idiot!" Like, I don't remember the specifics, but I remember it being funny at the time. But yeah, the idea of like Mexican being a slur is just like, I don't know. It's like, what's the right? What am I supposed to say here? Mexican? Like, yes, just they're Mexican. Just call them Mexican. It's fine. It's not a bad thing.
Call them from whatever province or country that they're from specifically, because there's like 19 of the.
Yeah.
Mexico's not just all called Mexico, just like how America's not all just called America.
Doubt. I don't know.
Not all of California is Florida, New York, and California, and Texas, and then like whatever random Midwest state you know.
Well, even California isn't just northern or southern California.
No, the West Coast is just California and Washington. That's it.
Yes. actually. No, not just it's just Seattle. Like it's not even Washington.
I have met people who like because America is a weird place to understand if you've never been here, because it's such a fucking big place.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people that I've talked to, a couple people that I've talked to, like, yeah, the West Coast is California, Seattle, Washington, and Vegas. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, they're correct.
Yes,
they're kind of correct.
Yeah. If you can drive to a beach,
if you're not from here, that's what it is to you.
I mean, but when I say drive, I mean like that's from some of those places hours and hours, but
But the fact that you can drive to a beach at all is like a big thing for most people.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of people do live on coasts. That's just because that's for population. That's just a good thing. A lot of people don't go to a beach like a ocean beach.
Yeah,
I've never been to. I think I've been to like lake beaches a couple times, and I'm like, these aren't as good.
No, why would they be?
Like in Arizona and shit. I'm like at least the ones I went to, like, they're nice. Like they were good for using.
I love
jet
lakes.
skis, but
Lakes
I'm
are great.
This place is like it's not the same as a beach.
Yeah, lakes and rivers are cool.
The beach. I love being near the beach. I love water. I don't like being in the sand or the water as much as just being in the general vicinity of a beach or fresh water.
I think legitimately one of my favorite things, one of my favorite activities ever, actually,
Jacking off.
Yep, is swimming in the ocean, like when there's waves that are just a little bit too harsh, where there's like a little bit of riptides going on.
You had me and then you lost me immediately.
It's a bit scary. Like that's where I like when I swim way too far. Here's what I do. I swim way too far out. I only face the vastness of the ocean. I don't look behind me, so I don't see the beach. And then I swim. I start swimming into waves and underneath and start kind of feeling the currents and try to see where the water takes me and see if I just get swallowed into the ocean. It's weird and wild, and I don't think anyone else has this, but like it's
okay.
That is actually
to see if other people are like
things.
this. Let me ask a question. Mm-hmm. Do you think you're a good swimmer?
Yes.
Okay, then that's not that weird.
Yeah.
If you were a mediocre to bad swimmer, that's what you love doing, then this would be a different story.
That'd be stupid. Dude, if I was a bad swimmer, everything I just said would be stupid. But you'd just be an
adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
You're chasing danger and death. That's what adrenaline junkies like to do.
Yeah, it's because it's one of those. I said this. I think I've said this on this podcast before, where like the feeling of just like I was gonna say standing, but like kind of floating there in the ocean, like only viewing like just the vastness of it, not like where your brain stopped for a second, like, and it makes you feel like you're just dropped in the middle of nothing.
Yeah.
And it's weird for my anxiety brain. It's actually extremely I don't know any other feeling than that. It's the most calming thing that I've ever experienced.
You're feeling what you feel right before you die on a hospial bed.
I think it's something like that.
It's the concept of like, all right, this is it. I'm done. This is kind of peaceful.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out, and they pull the plug.
Yeah, that dude.
See, I can feel that peace from it on the beach, not in the water at risk of floating out to my death.
Dude, if that could be my final moment of just like, if I would love if someone's ever
get a horrible disease, send me out into the water and let me float.
If someone,
no matter what it is,
if anyone's listening out there is someone who was hired to assassinate me, can you can you have me go out to the ocean
and shoot me in the skull as I'm floating in the water?
Shoot me in the back of the skull while I'm floating in the water, because that is actually the way I want to go.
You want to die while you're being baptized, is what you're asking.
Yes. The way Jesus intended.
The way Jesus always wanted.
Shot in the back of the head.
That's how he died after he came back after 3 days. They shot him in the head when he went to the pool.
Oh, man.
He never trade a second time.
Yeah, I love the ocean a lot.
You love shooting Jesus in the skull as he floats in the water. We can go back to him with his pops.
I think that was Nietzsche's quote.
That's Easter too.
God is dead, and we have shot him in the back of the face.
in the pool.
Yeah.
Not like a good pool, like a one we bought from like a Lowe's, like a plastic one. That if your dog sneezes at it or bites the bottom corner of it, it will leak everywhere and flood your yard. Fuck those pools. God damn.
Yeah, actually though.
I've never had one, but I've used them, and I'm like, hey, these pools suck ass, and they cost hundreds of dollars.
I wanna shout out to your cousin once only. Shout out to Nick at Poolboy for Rent on Twitter. He made a tweet. that your cousin got Twitter famous for a second.
I saw what he tweeted. He's gotten randomly lucky on weird shit all the time. Weird.
He's a funny guy. You and him have very similar senses of humor. It's very
because we grew up together. That's the thing.
I know, but it's just it's very interesting to watch. Like on the outside, it's just like you guys post exactly the same shit. Like exactly the same shit.
Well, I've never posted. That's the thing.
But I'm saying like when I see you guys like share memes on the Discord. By the way, we have a Discord called Snake Oil Club. Discord.io/the Snake Oil Club. It's a horrible place. But yeah, his Grimes and Elon Musk's baby probably looks like this, and it's the picture of Missing No, and it's just.
I'm not gonna go into that Elon Musk baby shit. I don't even.
No, it's not. It's not a conversation to have for anyone ever.
Who cares? And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I'm like, I'm just gonna. Okay.
I will. Elon
I
Musk
wish I could argue with my wife about. Well, not even his wife. I wish I could argue with the mother of my child on Twitter about the pronunciation of the name of my child.
I would love to actually the mother of my child about the name of the said child.
Actually, I took feminism for a year in college, so I think I know a bit more about this than you do.
That the fact that Elon Musk actually his.
I wish
his
I could.
Yeah,
I wish I could mansplain to the mother of my child once in my life. That's my life goal.
Yeah, that's honestly like. That might have been his biggest power move of all time, I think.
I mean, besides sinking his company multiple times by doing dumb tweets on his fucking social media profile.
Tesla stock is too high. Anyway, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast recently, and I watched that, and I liked it a lot.
Moving on. I don't care.
Yeah,
I think he's a bad person and a shitty human being. Let's move on.
That's fine. Nintendo. I know nothing about this actually because I've been sleeping under too many rocks.
Nintendo recently had their biggest leak of anything ever in history from a database. It was basically it was leaked on 4chan because, anonymous place, just post shit, whatever. Mm-hmm. All kinds of shit came out of this leak, including things. Well, probably the one people might have seen is that I don't remember. If you remember I think 2 years ago, a couple beta designs from Generation 2 got leaked. Like they were found through like an old ROM.
Yeah, I remember this.
So a lot more of those have come out.
Yeah, okay,
you know what? Debug software, and the highlight by far is the second Whooper evolution.
Yeah,
because it's the best shit ever. It should have been in the games. It's the best shit.
I'm going to look this up because I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, there's like Pokemon debug software came out, prototype images of a lot of shit in that game, which is really interesting for archival purposes. Cool shit as well as like N64 technical demos for like games that were never meant to be made or just like showing off tech are out there. But the really, really big stuff that is kind of wild that we have is that a good chunk of the leak is a breakdown of the Nintendo Wii. As in like source code and documentation and APIs and GameCube emulation.
Oh, well, time for that emulator to get like significantly better.
No. And that's the thing about it. The way this came out is that this is apparently a data breach on the company Brought On, who is a company that they've worked with to create everything for the Wii. So things like software, and also what the leak is, people don't understand, it's also manufacturing details on the Wii. Like how it was made, like everything on how the Wii was made pretty much is out there now, floating.
It's wild.
But that is still... leaked or not, that is still copyrighted material.
Oh, 100%.
So, anyone who'd want to use that material for emulation purposes to either make a new one from scratch or upgrade old ones, are going to get the fuck suit out of them if they ever do that.
Are you telling me Nintendo would sue someone over something like this?
Yes, they do this stuff all the time.
It's like, name one other time that Nintendo has done.
They sue people all the time for all kinds of shit. All kinds of shit. Even for games they don't own.
It feels like every day.
Feels like every day. They got them fucking... That's why the phrase Nintendo ninjas exist.
Yes.
People go, wait, how the fuck do they find me?
Yes.
They fucking find you. Yes. That's the issue with... Like, it's this is really interesting for... This is a really big deal for archival purposes of games.
Yeah.
And which is stuff that I've always been into for years and years and years, which is keeping
you've talked about this forever.
All kinds of shit like that.
The reason you don't like how everything's moved digital because...
They will disappear forever and you'll never be able to play them again.
Yes.
Luckily, because good people exist... you can still play WiiWare games.
Yeah.
Because you can't buy WiiWare games anymore because the shop is gone. And there are plenty of games, whether they're good or not, whether they're worth your time or not, you can't play them anymore.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Just gone. But luckily, some very smart people have them, and you can go play them. On
this idea of like, I mean, on one hand, it's like art created by multiple people that are just like, however dedicated people that are just like, oh, here's all my work that I worked on for however long, never to be seen again.
Whether it was dog shit or made in 2 months by one guy in France, I'd like it to still be around to play if you want to go look at it.
Yeah, because someone cared. Like
even if they didn't, I want to see it.
Yeah,
that's my thing. I don't care if it was like a thing of like, hey, this game wasn't done, I didn't want people to see it. That's a bit like different for me. But it's no, if it was made and they put it out, I want to look at it. Just to know. Mm-hmm. It's a fascinating thing to look at. Like that's why you can you can tell year by year what was trying to be sold on the WiiWare shop just by looking at what it came out for.
I have a quick philosophy question for you, actually, like about art. Like, do you think a vital step in art is sharing it? Like, do you think art doesn't work until you share it?
No.
Okay. Like, you think it's okay to make art and then just never show it to anyone ever and then die and then it's just gone?
Yeah. Even with games. Because I know people who make plenty of games that they never give to anybody but like a friend or two of theirs.
Okay, because it's a debate that like a lot of people have of just like one of the vital steps for making music is sharing it. Like it doesn't work until like it's not.
That's an argument if you're talking about like value, whether that be monetary or societal value.
Yeah, fair. And that's different.
And some artists exist, and that's on them. They make art to make money, to be famous.
Yeah, and then obviously sharing it is very important.
Like Madonna made art to be famous.
Yes, 100%.
Her goal in life was to be popular, and it worked.
Yeah, and good for her.
I'm still saying her name in 2020.
Yes,
it worked.
She succeeded. Good job. But I would say for me, like
music out there somewhere. I've heard some of it. Some of it's good.
Yeah. But like for me, like I feel like making art for the sake of making art is a perfectly valid way to make art. Like I like. It's somewhat of a side note, but it's something that I think about a lot, and because I hear that argument made all the time. It's rare for me to hear someone who agrees with me that like I think it's totally okay to make something and just never share it.
Well, that's because we live in the age where you're obliged to share everything about yourself.
Yeah,
it's what makes me especially the odd man out.
Yes, and
because I am young, I am hip, I am with it, but I don't want to tell you what time I shit today.
Yeah, and then I'm
or
over
that I
here
messed up on my dinner. I don't care to give that to people.
Yeah, and then I'm over here yelling at you because like, no, you're good, make shit. Even though I just made an argument why you don't have to. Like, even also, it's not necessarily your argument, but
even if I finished something that I've worked on, I don't know if I'd even share it because I'm like, well, I finished it because I wanted to finish it, and I didn't finish something because I didn't want to finish it. I just didn't feel like it.
It's fun. Yeah, it's funny because it's something that I do. I made an album. Remember, I made an album that like
cool.
3 people.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you ruined your life and hygiene for a bit to make that.
Yeah,
for no reason other than you want to do it.
Yeah, I made an album for him.
You didn't see sunlight for like I think 2 weeks. I remember one time when you were making it.
Yeah, it took a.
We went to your place. You're like, yeah, I haven't been outside in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're like, forgive me, like if I look at the sun a little weird.
Yeah,
my eyes hurt from being outside.
It was the first music project I ever worked on, really, and I was like, cool, we're turning into an album. And I may or may not ever share it. I've shown it to people like personally, but it's not online. You can't find it.
I don't think I've heard it. I think I've heard like a bit.
I'd be surprised if I hadn't showed you some of it. But regardless, it's not. I haven't put it out, and it's one of those things where it's just like if that leaked, I'd be not
without
like
your permission. That's a different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what things like. So back leaks and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know about that kind of stuff.
Like, yeah, see, like that. If that happened to me, like, I'd be upset because it's like, well, no, I didn't. I could have uploaded it to SoundCloud at any time. Like, if I wanted it out, I would have had it out. And it's not that I'm afraid that people are gonna whatever. I just didn't. I don't feel like putting it out there. And
you didn't choose to. Flash was not your best foot forward.
Yeah, it was my first ever project.
So back in the day, the Half-Life leaks were such a big deal.
Yes, Half-Life 2 just coming out a year early.
And it was like, hey, this game looks not great 'cause it's not finished.
Yeah, and then Valve.
There's a reason we never announced like when it's coming out, and we kept delaying it because the game was not done.
Yeah, well, Valve literally had to add more shit in because they're like, well, people technically have already played a lot of this, so we want to change it now.
Yeah,
that way people. Yeah.
That's why a lot of them like for archival purposes, people still want to like keep and like kind of finish the beta stuff or like just keep it around because it's out there and for just as fans of Half-Life people want to know. Mm-hmm. But there are people have found by name that either worked at Valve or still are at Valve, and they ask about like, would you be willing to give some of this to finish this project up, or like just to keep the archival stuff up, or would you know where it is? And some of them go like, we don't know where it is because it's lost, or we deleted it because it was just security reasons.
Yeah.
Or B, they go, I have it. I can't emotionally in good faith give this to you.
Yeah.
Because of the stress of making with my team. I can't do this like personally.
No.
That's where this stuff gets kind of weird of leaks.
Yeah,
even with those Pokemon that came out, those like images of Pokemon that everyone loves, especially me, they're great. Mm-hmm. I wonder if I've heard no statements on this from officially, probably because they don't want to call more attention to this stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the people who worked on those designs, well, I think it was Sugimori at the time. It might have been him. Whoever was working on the designs at the time is upset about this or not. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think it's an aspect of leaks in general that like I think is interesting. I don't think anyone ever talks about. I don't even know if it's the most important aspect of it. It might be. It might be I think it's a really important aspect of it that people don't talk about, but it might not be as important as my brain makes it. Of just like I wonder. Yeah, what are the intentions of like the specific people involved?
I like to know things. I want to know.
Yeah. Because that's my thing.
People,
it's like
this is not like, old enough that those people are dead. They're still alive and they can comment on it. But I doubt if they will anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Pokemon is still one of the biggest things on Earth. Also,
I think it literally is.
Nintendo as a company.
I believe Pokemon is the biggest IP in the world. Star Wars is number 2, I think.
I think financial wise for everything, yes. And as of recently, I think of this morning, I read that Pokemon Sword and Shield have outsold the 3DS game.
Yeah, I believe it.
Which is like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
people
of course.
Which is especially now.
Yeah,
nothing better to do.
My mom has a Switch. Like that's
She should. Nintendo. Play Pokemon Sword and
Shield. Nintendo wins. My mom has a Switch. She's going through Animal Crossing.
That's a better game.
It's funny. Like I'm kind of walking her. I explained. We sat down recently, and I explained
where babies come from.
What it is about video games that I like, and it was a really interesting conversation to have with my mom because. My mom used to play. My mom was a nerd. Like my mom is a nerd. Like she used to play. Like she used to go to arcades in the '80s, and she was that kid. Like go to
everyone was like either you were the arcade kid or you skateboarded or whatever the fuck. Like there was like a niche for you, depending on where you're from.
My mom was a band geek who went to arcades. Like that's what it. My mom is me. Like
that's me right now. If arcades aren't closed, which they are, I'm very sad about it.
I'm very sad. Yeah.
I go all the time.
Yeah. So for her, it's like Pac-Man, Galaga, all that stuff, but then obviously she skipped over any console. She had a Commodore 64, and she played some games on those, but pretty much that was the only like home console that she had ever.
I could play
and games. And then skipped over until I got a PS2, and she didn't play that ever because she was busy being a mother, and so she just skipped out on what anyone would consider like any console generations really, and so for her to go right into like. Animal Crossing is interesting because she's been playing for the last couple of years. I would say in the last decade, like on her, computer or whatever she had, like Plants vs. Zombies is what she got into.
Everyone I know knows like a mom or an aunt who played Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah, and my mom probably has like 1,000 hours of Plants vs. Zombies.
Hey, guess what? That game rules. I probably have like 200 hours in like the first game. I love that game.
Yeah, Plants vs. Zombies is great. Farmville. This is what actually
Farmville is the other one.
This is what made me think that she'd like Animal Crossing is because she would play Farmville all the time, and she'd been playing on her like old Samsung tablet that's like 7 years old at this point, and it's crumbling. Like it just can't handle Android as an OS anymore.
That's funny.
And so she's been too frustrated to even play her Farmville anymore, and so that's why I was saying I wonder if you'd like Animal Crossing, and she looked into it because she had coworkers that have it and talk about it, and she was like,
it sold a lot of copies.
Yeah, and so
I think 6.2 million copies as of now, which is insane.
How much?
6.2 million copies.
That hurts. That's a number that hurts. I don't understand that.
It's the best selling game I think in the franchise's history.
Yeah, I believe it. I don't understand.
I think it's mainly because of the times, but it's also a pretty good.
It's a good mix of a lot of.
Well, the thing that matters is that since you wouldn't know this since you've never played them.
No,
never
in my life.
The way Animal Crossing worked, it was like, all right, Animal Crossing came out Japan only for the 64, right?
Okay.
Then they re-released that game with some added features, and in America for the game Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Which is called the same thing in America. It's called Animal Crossing. Yeah. Then it got another one on the DS, but that was like it's like the one you already played, but a little bit different. Then they made the one on the Wii. It's like the one you played, but a little bit different. Then they made the one on 3DS. It's like the one you played before, but a little bit different. A couple new things. Yeah. Then they made the really really bad, really mediocre board game that's just really boring.
Yes.
Then they made the mobile version, which is just a neutered version of what you played on 3DS. But this one, New Horizons, is an actual sequel. Enough things have changed that it's interesting if you've played the old ones, but it's also a great place to start because it's a new game.
Yeah,
because I'm playing through it every day. In fact, after this podcast is over, I have shit I want to do in that game. I love my neighbors. I'm very happy about them.
I've been watching your Switch playthrough. That's the only thing I ever see you play.
I call it because it's the only thing because I don't have the mental power to play FF7 right now.
Yeah.
I'm playing an MMO that I've also been taking a break from. I've just been not into playing heavy games, so I'm playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
There is enough things in this game because I know Animal Crossing is steeped in tradition as well as like new things as well. Like, oh, this is how this works in this game. Here's how flowers work, moving houses, furniture, blah blah. There's a certain way things usually always work, but there's enough different, and I've been kind of as much as I can not looking up how things work in the game to like get things done. Yeah. But I keep finding new shit all the time.
This is the thing.
And because they're kind of changing how this game works, the updates to this game are not just either fixing bugs or like adding in events, they're adding in content as well. Some stuff that should have been in the game at the beginning, but it's like a month in, I don't mind that this thing was missing. It's fine. Because I'm not rushing the game forward. I'm not time traveling at all. I'm having a good gay old time.
Yeah, so that's the thing is like
for my fucking house. Furniture's really smart for me still. But
because my mom started she started getting bored just because she kept getting frustrated. It's like, this game doesn't tell me what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know how, like, what is the goal? Like, I don't know the goals. I don't know, because one of the things that she liked about Farmville, it was always like, all right, there's a checklist, and that doesn't really exist in Animal Crossing as much. I don't think
kind of does.
It does, but I think because this is what prompted my mom and I having this conversation of like how video games work and explaining. I sourced in my head this Mega Man X sequelitis by Aaron of just explaining video games for babies kind of thing, or not for babies, just in general, like how your brain kind of works, of just like how a game shows you how
this is your brain on video games.
Yes,
you just cracked an egg on a pan and showed her it, and
it's one of those things where just like Animal Crossing, I think, is a good place to start if you've missed out on 7 generations of 8 whatever, how many generations of fucking consoles.
If you missed out on video games,
yeah.
You don't know if you even enjoy video games.
It's the last video game you played, literally, like, real game, other than, like, again, the real thing. Plants vs. Zombies is 100% a real game, but...
a good video game, too.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's a classic, even.
I think so. I think so. But let's say...
I get happy. That's a classic.
If your most modern reference to a video game is Plants vs. Zombies, something like Animal Crossing is actually kind of daunting. And I didn't think about that, I think,
because the sheer amount of options.
Yeah, because I talked to her about, like, when I play a game like Breath of the Wild or something, like that game.
You said any game.
Well, I brought up that one. I brought up that one. I was being specific just so I can give specific examples of how that game prompts you. Like, the reason why I like Breath of the Wild so much is because that game, I think, is genius and kind of nudging you to where to go without ever telling you have to do anything.
Like 99% of the time. Yeah, it's like there you can go here. We'll give you like a marker if you really want to.
There's a reason why
you're making your own way.
There's a reason why majority of people who play Breath of the Wild, their first area was the water, the elephant one, the Zora people or whatever.
The Zora's domain. Well, it's not called that. Zora's, my brain, because Zelda is Zora's domain.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why the fish people and the prince that everyone wants to have sex with.
Yeah, there's a reason why the majority of people end up there.
Let's skip over that. All right, whatever.
Yeah,
Howard.
It's because the game kind of nudges you that way. It puts like harder areas in other places. You see fire and you think in the distance, or like a volcano, you're like, that's neat. Start walking towards the lake. Oh, it's kind of hard to get over there. Fire is probably bad. I'm gonna go over here. I see waterfalls. Those are kind of nice. Your brain just starts making connections. But some of those things are like, I had to kind of step back and think of like, okay, why couldn't my mom play Breath of the Wild right now? And some of it is just like, my mom doesn't know that in a video game, you want to run a lot in a game like this. Like, if
there's
you walk
a language to video games.
Yeah, exactly.
That is
like
very, very hard to teach. Have you seen it went really viral. Have you seen the video? It's like over 1 million views now. It's 20 minutes long. It is about it's a man trying to like show various games of various complexity. Right? How do you play video games if you've never played them before.
Yes, I literally, it was. I think that's probably why I picked Breath of the Wild, because in my head I was thinking of that video.
Like people like us who played games for almost our whole lives, depending on how we're feeling that day or who it is sometimes teeth pulling to watch people play games and ask questions.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Because
I think it's
where we speak video games, not just the culture.
No, it's a language.
It all. It's we know how games work. Hey,
yeah.
You brought up waterfalls. When you see waterfall in any game ever, what do you want to do when you see a waterfall?
Yeah, I want to either go behind the waterfall or go up the waterfall if I can. Go to the top of it. Go
That's
whatever.
just
Jump off
things
of it.
that
That'd
we
be fun.
know we want to do.
Yeah, explore the waterfall. Yeah,
because one time we played a video game, it worked, and one time it let us go up that waterfall. So we want to try both because we've done this before.
Yeah, and then I brought up how Aaron when he talked about Mega Man X and why that game would be it's a good game if someone never played the game before. It's like, all right, so how do you start pressing buttons till things happen? All right, this D-pad lets me move. All right, let's go left. Okay, there's a wall there. I can't go left. Got it. Let's go right. All right, the screen is moving. I guess I can go right. The game has now taught you how to go right. And it's one of those things that like anytime I play a 2D side-scrolling 2D side-scrolling game at all, I already know I probably have to go right. Like there are almost no games that defy this. If it lets me go left, especially right off the bat, I know this might be like some Metroidvania type game or something.
It's either a Metroidvania open world game, and usually if in a 2D game like that, it's more pulled out from your character.
Yeah.
Or B, it's a secret and you hit the wall like Shovel Knight or Castlevania or
exactly. Yeah.
Whatever.
It's an exception, not a rule. It's one of the things like going right is just a part of it's a language that I know that specific dialect. I know the dialect of 2D side scrollers.
Yeah. Versus 3D platformers versus 3D shooters versus 3D platformers versus all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and so it's my mom because it's like okay, my mom spent $200 on a Switch Lite. How do we get her to have that investment be worth it? If she, you know what I mean? And it's one of the things like okay, what games on the Switch can she even play? And I think Animal Crossing is a great beginning to this because there's not much. It's not demanding in terms of button combinations and movements because her biggest thing anytime I ever tried to have her play stuff like when I was a kid I used to try to get her to play the Lego games with me and she always had trouble like moving and pressing things at the same time like it was the dual act because one of the things especially Pac-Man it's one thing you don't press you just move your
no buttons it is just you move.
Yeah, Galaga is a little bit more complicated, but it's one button. You know what I mean?
Also, like it's analog where it's only left or right. You can't go faster left or faster right by much. Yes. It's just left or right. And guess what? Most people don't think. They are just pressing that button until they win or lose.
I was actually listening to the Snark Tank Pocket, Chris Reagan's podcast. They were talking about like imagine someone like my mom or something like picking up a controller and playing Call of Duty for the first time. Like that is like okay, here mom, here are all the options you can like here every single button does something and you kind of have to use all of them during any moment.
But not all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to learn by yourself which ones you're pressing a lot or which ones you're pressing situationally.
Yeah.
Or
and even
sometimes
dude, and
not
even
at
me,
all.
we didn't last week. We just talked about it. Even me, we've played games our entire lives. I've played shooters forever. Even me, still to this day, I go, I don't need to reload, but I can reload now, and I feel like reloading now. I want to press square. I want to press square or whatever R on my keyboard to reload now, even though I don't have to, but I want to. It's one of those things where it's like it's even if you've played for decades,
you'll forget something or something new will come. Like, oh, is that what we're doing now?
Yeah. And that's
shooting with the back trigger instead of the front triggers. That's different for me.
And I was this is going like explaining this to my mom helped me realize also about what I like in games and why when I say I like video games, what like I like games that explore that like when I whatever input method, keyboard, mouse, or controller, or whatever, that I am learning something new about this language. I think this is why a game like Final Fantasy VII. The parts that I like the combat stuff, feels to me more like I'm learning a language, but like moving around in that world, I'm not actively learning. My hands aren't actively learning anything.
You're doing what you've done before in other games.
Exactly. And this is why Doom Eternal, I think, is like this is why Doom Eternal is a game that like my brain almost doesn't know what to do with, because it's connecting different like it's connecting in my brain. It's like Devil May Cry and like a shooter is like my like combos almost with a shooter is my brain has never made like those synapses has never fired at the same time before, and it's fascinating. And that's the kind of shit in video games that I really like. Is just like I am firing synapses that I've never fired before. Or like this is why I'm liking Dark Souls so much. It's the same thing. It's just it's new combat mechanics that I get
It's making you mentally work.
Yes.
More than you're used to.
Mm-hmm. And so trying to think of again like what like how long before my mom can play Mario Odyssey? You know what I mean? Like
that's
I don't know.
I've seen people try to play games and tried to get people into games occasionally when people ask me or a type of game.
Yeah.
The real actual thing is that sure there are games that are better to start with, but just like any media to get into, anime, books, comics, manga, film, even even the subgenres in those, it's not, I think, for everyone, not in their best interest to find like the quote unquote entry level for them. It is which one looks most interesting to you. And that's where you learn from. Because me and you, and a lot of people who play games even, or any other media that they're into, they didn't start at the quote unquote entry level stuff. They got whatever they could get their hands on / what they thought was interesting.
You're right.
And then if they wanted to keep engaging with it, they did. And sometimes for those people, it's too difficult and they never come back. And that's unfortunate. That does happen. And I don't think you should do that on purpose to make people like that kind of haze them and be like, no, you will like this game even if you're having trouble with it because you thought it was like not that kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to show my mom Call of Duty right now. Like that's
not going to show her DMC3.
No, fucking no, please.
And you're going to leave the style switching on. Like you're not going to do that to her.
No.
Obviously. Even if she was interested in it, for example.
Yeah.
Because it would be too much.
Yeah.
Probably. Who knows?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised at what, for some people, even if they don't play games, some people just learn certain games it just comes naturally to them.
Especially also I think when you're a kid, I was also,
you also have infinite time as a child. But even then,
yes,
I've known people who got into shooters when they were in their 20s on mouse and keyboard, never played games before.
Yeah.
They never played games ever. They maybe played like 2K or maybe like Madden or maybe like a Mario game or Street Fighter 2, like at their friend's house or something, or just random games, but they never played games. They
some people are just naturally
had a computer that could run CS:GO. They play CS:GO all the time now. Or League.
It's
That's
wild.
what they play.
I know so many people like this who aren't quote unquote nerds, you know, who are playing.
But they
like
play
Warzone.
A game that is kind of complicated, but it's their only game, and they learned it at an older age or a very older age.
Overwatch is one that like a lot of people. Fortnite I think is doing that to a lot of people right now. It's just like Fortnite is an interesting. Imagine Fortnite being your first game ever.
It is for a lot of people. That's it is for a lot of people.
That's why I'm very.
And it's
curious
not
like
simple.
No, that's why I'm wondering like where is their trajectory going to go on what other games they play after Fortnite, if that's your entry into video games. Like what other games would interest that? I don't know. It's interesting.
Anything or nothing.
Or nothing. Yeah.
That's with all kinds of interests. That can happen.
Yeah.
I'm really into French film. Are you? I watched one movie and it was cool, and then tried others and I was like, these are boring.
Yeah.
That can happen. Or I'm really into Korean horror. But I showed my friend one movie and he liked it, and the other one he didn't like it, and then he showed another one, and then another one they didn't like him. And it's like, oh, actually they don't like this. It's like this one movie, and that's fun.
Yeah, it's wild that different people have different tastes in things.
But with games, it's the trickiest one because it requires the most engagement from you for most people.
Yeah,
and there are fucking textbooks length worth of reasons why people can't get into them.
Yeah,
gatekeeping doesn't help either.
No, for sure.
I've always kind of erred on, for certain things, jokingly or like kind of lightly, it is kind of okay to lightly gatekeep people. And I don't mean as in you're not allowed to enjoy this thing, but I mean gatekeeping from conversation about certain things, depending on how you engage with them.
Like, what do you mean?
As in...
give an example, I guess.
If your favorite anime of all time in 2020... is Naruto Shippuden, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's really popular. A lot of people are watching it. We're getting into it now, right?
Okay.
You can have that opinion. It's fine. Talk about it with people all you want. I will never like go to them and be like, "You don't know what you're talking about," there's so much more to see, like in a kind of like angry dickish way of like, you don't understand that this is not.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
But I would never invite that person, or if they tried to argue that seriously, I would be like, well, no, you are not, quote unquote, in with us to discuss that kind of topic with us. You're allowed to have that opinion. You're allowed to enjoy it all you want. In fact, if you do, that's awesome. That's great. You found your favorite thing of all time from this thing. That's cool. But there's a certain point where you're like, you can't talk in certain social groups of people because of just experiences you had. Not because you're dumber or you're not worth it.
Okay. I think I know what you're saying.
It's a weird thing I think
I know what you're saying. I wanna see if I can elaborate on what you're saying, because on the surface, it sounds what you're saying is insane, but I think I know what you're getting at. It's not like you wouldn't stop that person from, like, if they came in and that person wanted to talk about Naruto, like that, because that's their favorite anime.
Guess what? It happens to me all the time still. People who like other anime too. And I'm sick of it. I never say anything about it.
Let's say you also like, let's say that their favorite, their introduction to this, like let's say their introduction to anime also happens to be whatever your favorite anime is, right?
Mob's like 100, I guess. That's a big one that got big.
Let's say that. You would gladly talk to them about that specific anime.
Sure.
But if they came in with you and your friends talking about anime, and you guys are having a whole conversation about anime as a whole, like as a genre, as a culture, like as that person is going to have a hard time in that setting, because the only reference they have is one specific thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
So I wouldn't do
so
that.
You would, yeah, exactly. You wouldn't go, hey, come over, have this come here, talk about anime, because you only know one thing. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because that's obnoxious, and I've been there and I've done that to people on accident before, and I'm like, oh, that's shitty. Let's not do that.
Yeah, that's right.
I wanted topics more often.
I wanted to like clarify that a little, just because. Yeah. I feel like someone would listen to this and it almost sounded like you were saying that, like, no, you're not allowed to talk about anime because you like Naruto or something. Like that's what it sounded like. And I was like, I don't think the example you gave shed exactly what you were trying to say. No. So that's why
it's a weird thing for me. I always have to think about it of like, because mentally, I think until probably the day I die, I will still do that to people.
Let's say, like, for me,
and that's shitty, but it's a thing of like, oh, no, I'm talking about games. What's your favorite game? My favorite game is whatever Assassin's Creed game came out this year. Yeah. Because I'm not outwardly a huge dick, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. I'm not really those games anymore. And then maybe they would talk to me a bit about it, or they would move on. And that's where that would end. Like, but in my brain, it'd be like, this guy's so boring. Yeah. With his taste in games or whatever. For me, not even like in a mean way, be like, this guy's kind of boring with this stuff, but whatever, let's just move on. Like, I would never do this outwardly to people. But I think I'll never stop doing that. No, I don't like that. There's no reason for that.
I can relate. I can very much relate to this. For
my
example,
entire life is with this kind of shit.
Like metal. Like, I know metal fairly well.
Metal fans, including you, are the worst people to talk to.
Yes.
That's why I don't talk about metal with anyone ever.
Well, but this is I want to say this is very, like, this is one-to-one, I think, exactly what you're saying. Like, for example, like, if someone comes up to me and says like their favorite metal band is like Five Finger Death Punch or something, I'm just like, out of all the bands,
Sevenfold, which is what that is for me.
I love Avenged Sevenfold.
I know, but you have to understand that that's what that is for me.
Yeah.
That's your favorite thing, really? Like, it's not like the worst thing ever, but it's like, it's okay. Like, there's so much more. That's where that is for me for that. Yeah. Of like, sure, it's not terrible, but there's so much. You ever heard of Ghost, at least? Or it's like,
oh, I don't like Ghost at all.
I know you don't, because you're lame. But
yeah, that's fine. Well, whatever. Yeah, but whatever.
See, this is where this all breaks down. Of like, it doesn't really matter, because who gives a shit? I like Ghost a lot. I know you would never enjoy Ghost whatsoever.
No, every time I listen, I don't it's one of those bands that I don't actually get. Like, I don't like. There's some.
It's a band that I'll never get, that I don't get why people love. Whitesnake.
Oh, interesting.
Like ballad rock from the 80s. Yeah. Like, it makes me angry. I hate it. Yeah. A lot of it.
You know what's funny? It's because you know how, like, I try to defend the Scorpions a lot. It's the same thing. It's
like the band Scorpion.
Yeah.
Or the Scorpion.
Sorry, Scorpion. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the band Scorpion.
Rock Like a Hurricane, right?
Yes. Yeah,
I don't like that band very much, but I have no strong opinions on them, because I'm like, they don't seem like a great band that I would like, so I just don't. give them the
Scorpion is like, if you go through Scorpion's Discog, it's exactly the same. On the surface, it seems like it's very similar to like that ballad 80s rock stuff that you probably would despise. And then I always go like, no, but these are like great musicians. Like their stuff is actually really musically interesting. But
and I'm like, hey, that's really cool. This doesn't. I don't have fun, so I don't want.
Yeah, it's
Also, a lot of rock bands that I find out that people really like.
Yeah.
They write the same 5 songs for 20 years.
Dude, I'm getting.
And sometimes like a band like. I don't love AC/DC, but I kind of like them. They write 3 songs.
Dude, I don't like AC/DC, and it's one of those. It out of because I'm.
Is it because the lead singer sounds like he's choking to death on a piece of chicken?
No, it's fine.
He's coughing and needs water.
I like Dave Mustaine as a vocalist. Like it's the sound of a vocalist, like having I will say a unique tone to their voice, is not what's gonna draw me out of music, and like by itself. Sure. But I want to say like someone who is, I would say is, in a lot of these rock metal communities and stuff like that. Anytime I bring up that I don't like AC/DC, so I get like whipped in the streets.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect for AC/DC in that community.
Oh, I respect AC/DC for sure.
Where does it come from? Is it just being first as well? Like just being early in it?
I think so, actually.
That's what it's like the Sex Pistols or that, and I'm like, fuck the Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very good.
Well, but it's funny
but they get that cred because they were early.
There are some bands that are first that I think do deserve it also. Like
Velvet Underground deserves all of it, and they were great for a long time.
Well, Led Zeppelin is an interesting one for me.
They were too weird for the 60s. That's awesome.
Yeah. Led Zeppelin is one for me, where it's just like, I think the respect they get is actually deserved. Some of it.
I think they're a good band, too.
I mean,
I like Led Zeppelin as older I get.
I am convinced they have stolen music.
Yeah.
For sure, I'm pretty sure they've stolen a lot of stuff. That doesn't change the fact that I think that they're still talented, and also like they were right time, right place, right time kind of thing. Timing and talent is more important in a lot of these things more than anything else. But
sometimes they're really good. They happen to be really famous, like David Bowie, like Pink Floyd, or whatever.
Or William Eilish.
William?
That's her name.
Is it really?
Yep.
Why would you say that like I would know that of all people?
Her government name, William Eilish.
Her state issued name. They gave it to her like how you get a ID code at school.
Her Fed name. All right. We're at an hour and we didn't really get to any of the stuff that you wanted to talk about.
Well, there's not a ton that's going on this week.
Yeah.
There is. I will get to the small thing because it's not a big story.
Okay.
There has been some translations and some interviews about the Final Fantasy VII Remake and the plans of it going forward. So, for one, I think we kind of isn't like a big bummer, but it's kind of known. Final Fantasy VII's second part is in the planning stages of planning right now.
You were cutting out for me in Discord. What was that? I'm sure everyone else heard, but I didn't. They
are currently FF7 Remake's second part, whatever that will be.
Yeah.
Even the devs don't know. They are getting ready to start planning it out.
Oh, they're not even in pre-production yet.
No, because they just finished this game probably on time. So no one. It will be probably 4 years until we see the next part, whatever that is, or how long it will be.
Yeah.
So give it a decade for this stuff to finish.
Yeah.
And I say that because they confirmed, this is kind of infuriating, but also funny if you've been following FF7's universe or Square as a company for like the past 15 to 20 years.
Squeenix.
The remake director confirmed in the compilation book that's been being translated by fans from overseas or just people on Twitter that the Final Fantasy VII Remake is the 5th installment of the Final Fantasy VII compilation series.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, because you were gone from it because you didn't know. Some people, it's a long time away. Ever since 7, they announced like in the early 2000s, like, all right, we want to do Final Fantasy VII compilation universe, right?
Yeah, there's so like Crisis Core and
things like Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, Advent Children, and Before Crisis. All that shit is now the same product for remake.
Wait.
That means that project to make more FF7 shit never ended, it just was on a long hiatus.
That's hilarious.
So we're going to make more. probably an inclusion to remake. And I've not seen the ending or some of the new things they put in FF7's remake.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've heard whispers of, this does confirm that they are tying in some of the goofy and new shit from those projects. Which can either be cool if they write it in a cool way, or the worst shit ever. Most of the FF7 project shit was not great. Or in some cases, bad.
Yeah,
Crisis Core is okay.
You're on record for how much you dislike, Advent Children.
I hate Advent Children so much. It ruined Cloud as a character so hard.
Yeah. It's your favorite thing in the world.
But Crisis Core gave us some stuff with Zack. And
which matters.
Have you seen the meme of Zack coming back?
No.
Of him looking at the camera. It's from Crisis Core, or what the fuck it's from. And it's Zack looking at the camera, we're talking to a character, and he goes, "Me? Gongaga." And the clip cuts. and that clip I saw that clip 8 years ago, and I lost my shit back then, because it's so funny with no context. And it came back, and I'm so happy it's back. FF7's back.
That's good.
Just Zack saying "Me Gongaga" is fucking puts me in the stitches. It's so funny. And Zack, as we have to get more time with Zack because they're making everything longer, and Aerith is a bigger part of the games even more now.
Yeah.
Because her and Zack are a thing. Well, we're a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone loves Zack. He's the coolest.
Everyone loves.
Zack is cool. He's a good character. I like him. I like Zack. He gets I think 5 lines in FF7 in the original game.
Yeah.
Because he's important to Cloud in a backstory way, but not that much. Well, Cloud's a cool character.
Only important for
Cloud and Zack. He matters. He's important.
I was like, Zack is only important for the twist at the end of 7 more than anything else, I feel like.
Well, yeah, and even to the universe of it, and when they explored him in Crisis Core, as kind of flawed as that game is, it was cool to see more of the Shinra stuff and the soldier things, and how some of the traits that Cloud has are from him. It's kind of cool. Yeah, because Zack was kind of his mentor guy in a way.
Yeah,
his big bro he never had.
Yes,
and he says "Me Gongaga."
Yes,
still really funny. But then it's all right, we're getting more shit after FF7 remake, probably because Square enjoys money and it'd be leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
Are we gonna remake Dirge of Cerberus? Do you remember what Dirge of Cerberus is? Have you ever seen it before?
No, I only know about Crisis Core and Advent Children, really.
Do you know about the character Vincent Valentine?
Yes.
He got his own game on the PS2 that is a third-person action shooter that takes place after Final Fantasy VII. And it's no good.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's not very good. It's kind of awful story-wise, but nowadays it's so bad that I can kind of laugh at it.
This is the game. I believe this is the only Final Fantasy.
You probably saw this all the time at game stores, but never looked at it.
I believe this is the only Final Fantasy thing that Isaiah has ever touched.
Guess what? A lot of people I've heard that from as well. Look, I played Dirge of Cerberus. That was cool because it had guns in it.
I'm looking at it right now.
And it was edgy.
I'm looking at it right now. It's I'm pretty sure I've been over to Isaiah's house growing up where he was playing this.
Yeah, because it did pretty well
I remember,
for what it was at the time.
I remember a couple years ago him asking me, hey, what's that? We're talking about Final Fantasy, and he's like, yeah, the only thing in Final Fantasy VII that I know about is that guy in red. What was his name or whatever?
Yeah, Vincent Valentine. And you know why he knows about him?
Yeah, because he's the edgelord.
He's an edgy, brooding character.
Yeah.
Guess what everyone liked when they were teenagers?
Yeah, edgy, brooding characters.
Edgy, brooding characters.
In red, specifically.
And guess what? Vincent is kind of cool.
Yeah.
He's an optional party member in FF7, and he's cool for what he is. And he got his own fucking game, and it sucks. But I kind of would love to be you know what? We're putting all the money into FF7 because we love money. Fuck it, we're going to remake all these things.
I'm down.
We're just going to do it.
I'm down.
Because even people like you, who either we're not super big fanboys or just people who've never played FF7, are either kind of mixed, but are still kind of enjoying FF7 remake. Yeah. I'd love to see them try. I'd love to see them try. And also, it's really, really funny to see people with FF7, everything, all of it is coming back. People rewatching it or just going back to play the old games because it's just nostalgia or just want to know what it looked like.
Yeah.
It's really funny to see the thirst in the same way for these same characters come back in the exact same way again in 2020.
Just now in HD. That's
it's really funny. It's the same people who fell for Sephiroth as he is. He's
for no reason.
When you meet him and you finish FF7, he's kind of a character, but he's like barely a character.
Yeah.
The same girls and guys who fell for him back then, you're like, I'm tapping all over again. It's the same shit.
Yeah, it's funny.
I like people go like I am 26 or like I am 34. This is bullshit that I care much about this character again. The exact same way. I am married now. This is stupid.
This is a problem.
It's so funny to see all of I have kids. I'm getting married soon. It's like I still Sephiroth, man, his hair and that big sword.
I have a mortgage and a retirement account.
Yeah, and it's like, what the fuck? What is it about these characters? It's so funny to watch.
Yeah.
Because like the Tifa love never went away because she was. You agree? She was always better than Aerith, right?
No, I was always Aerith because remember I'm always
no as a character, not gameplay, as a character.
Yeah, I mean Tifa's more interesting for sure.
Yeah, like that was always like the concept. Like, Tifa love has never went away. FF7 came and went.
As a kid, I was always way more interested in like Aerith anyways, just because remember I'm always like healer, magic, and that's it. Healer, magic, and those two things I like more than anything else. From
the bits I've seen, I do like how they show off more of what she really is like in the remake, because she's not the innocent girl she likes to pretend to be. She's kind of like an asshole and sarcastic.
Yeah, a little bit.
But she hides it with a really cute smile, and I love how they put way more of that into remake.
Yeah, she's definitely a nice person.
She's not a dumb, naive, nice person. She lived in the slums.
Yeah,
and sold flowers to make a living. She's not a stupid idiot.
No.
She knows how to get her way. And it's really funny to see her do that way more than remake. That's cool.
Yeah. It's not like Jessie.
Yeah. Well, Jessie, I always like Jessie in the old game. But there's more of Jessie and Cloud, and it's very funny.
It's hilarious to watch.
Because Cloud does not care.
No.
Cloud's never even seen a tit before. Not even one. He's got to find Sephiroth, man.
Man, I want to finish Final Fantasy VII.
Just to see where it goes.
But man,
I might nuts at the end, and people are like not happy or love it.
I might not.
Or might just wait and do it later on your own time.
Yeah, I could see myself. I probably won't be streaming that game ever again. sorry for the 3 people that watched that. One, it didn't do well on my streams. Like that's one aspect of it that obviously negatively impact what I stream. Just if a game doesn't do well, it's harder. This is why I don't play Magic on stream. Even though I'd love to play Magic on stream, no one that watches me gives a shit about Magic. I painted myself in a corner on that one. That's my fault. But yeah, that's one thing. And then also is just I talked about it last week. I don't want to bring it up again. But the issues that I have with Final Fantasy VII are too fundamental, I think, for me to get over.
To finish it.
Yeah.
I don't a lot of time.
Yeah, I've put in like 25 hours in the game, and I don't like the way the game moves. So I don't think that's gonna change.
I gotta play it. I gotta do it.
Yeah, you can. Do you want mine?
I gotta see Cloud in dress in 1080p, 60 FPS. I gotta see.
I'll sell you my copy. I'll sell you my copy for $20.
Not on YouTube.
I'll sell you my copy for $20. If you give me $20, I will give you this game.
Because I still have to play. I still want to play the original. I still want to beat the original version again.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Sure. As of the story that I just talked about, we got a lot of time.
Yes.
A lot of time.
Yeah, you have a couple years. You can play multiple Final Fantasy games.
I got at least until I probably have my own home. Just to be finished.
You can play a lot more Final Fantasy 14 before this.
Also, just other Final Fantasy games I want to go back to. Or just replay. Like, I really want to replay 9 again with the HD textures on PC.
Yeah.
The FF9 is one of my favorite games ever made.
Yes, you have mentioned.
And I do love the fact that that game gets more love from people and Square over time. Because it is an underrated Final Fantasy game.
I know nothing about it.
And it's my favorite. And it's got Vivi in it. Vivi's like one of my favorite characters of all time. I love Vivi. He's my favorite. Like, he might be like my favorite Final Fantasy like party member. I love him a lot.
Interesting.
He's a good boy. Very, very bad for him. But I love him so much.
All right. Well, we're at
friends.
We're at like 75 minutes. And I'm getting tired. I probably should nap before my stream tonight, which is twitch.tv/Fieldstone. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. PST. Also, every Sunday lately, I've been doing movie nights on my Discord. That's discord.io/the Snake Oil Club. This week, if you're listening to this in time, we'll be watching Beetlejuice.
Don't say it 2 more times.
I won't. But
that movie's. Have you seen it like recently?
No, that's why I want to watch it too.
I love that movie. It's it's if you haven't seen it in a long time, it's a lot funnier than you remember it being.
I think I've definitely seen it in the last 10 years, but I don't think I've seen it in the last 5.
No, I recently rewatched it last Halloween because I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen this movie like in half a decade.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, I think.
I was laughing out loud, like a little, like with like a little bit of laughter tears to myself.
Yeah, that's why I think this will be a
in
good
a room
movie
by
to watch.
myself. It's very funny.
I think it's gonna be a good one to watch with everyone. I think also we're kind of deciding on accident that we're just gonna do a bunch of Tim Burton movies for a while because last week we did what the hell did we do? We watched we watched Sweeney Todd. Now we're watching Beetlejuice.
He had really good movies for a long time, and then
that's why I'm like, I think we're gonna
do fucking rails and made really bad shit for.
I think we're gonna watch Corpse Bride after this.
Corpse Bride is okay. I gotta ask this before we go. Did you know a lot of Mexican girls who loved Corpse Bride growing up?
Of course, it's a weird. The Mexican goth girl was a thing.
I knew 20 of them.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know why.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, there's something about it. For sure.
I knew a lot. I know some adults.
Yeah.
Of that.
All
who
Mexican.
Just are the same, but they're adults, and I'm like, yeah, it's a really good movie. I don't love it like as much as his other stuff.
It's been forever since I've seen
it. The duet a lot.
Yeah.
That's what's part of the movie is the duet on the piano is really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think about it that much. But it's like there's still a lot of love for that movie for certain types of people, and I've always wanted to figure out like what is it about that movie that draws certain types of people to it so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nightmare Before Christmas is like a classic. I love that movie.
Yeah, I watch that movie like every
year. I'm gonna rewatch
it
like probably like tomorrow for funsies.
Yeah,
because Kingdom Hearts has the world of that in those games.
Yeah,
and I'm like, fuck, I love stop motion. Fuck, I love this movie.
Yeah, we'll probably end up watching that at some point. Also,
it holds up.
I think we're gonna do all the good Tim Burton movies.
There's a lot of them.
Do you like Edward Scissorhands?
A lot.
Okay, that's one of those movies.
As an adult, that movie really, really resonated with me a lot.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that like
it was too weird for its time.
Well, I think even to this day, I think some people really love that movie, or some people are like that movie's overrated. Like I've seen so many like
yes, and both of those things are correct.
Yeah,
they're both correct.
So I need to.
You're gonna watch his Alien movie he made too.
Huh? What?
Mars Attacks.
I don't know this.
You haven't seen?
Wait, no,
he made a movie. Mars Attacks.
Yeah. I've heard of this. I don't think I've seen it.
You're gonna watch Mars Attacks?
Probably not.
That one's a goofy one. I remember liking it when I saw it.
Or maybe that might be fun to just fuck around and watch. I mean, this is effectively a room of like 10 people watching a movie together.
I don't know if it's Mars Attacks. I would call it good, but I had fun.
Yeah, it's one of those.
It was just so out there.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I miss Tim Burton. Come back, please.
Yeah, he's done.
Someone control him.
The only live-action Disney movie I wanted him to make was Pinocchio, and that's not happening now. So.
I don't want it because it's modern Tim Burton.
Yeah, that's honestly it. I think
you saw Alice in Wonderland, right?
I did.
It's like the closest to like visual vomit I've ever seen from mainstream film.
Yeah, that movie has ruined. That was like a transition, I think, for a lot of the goth style that happened.
They went, "Hey, I'm out."
Yeah, I think oh my god, I think actually, if we look at the timeline, if we look at the numbers, I think that movie is when everything changed.
It was a pivot in cultural history, the release of a shitty live-action Disney movie.
I think I'm right about this. I think if the world ended right before that movie came out, I think that would have been okay.
The Goths would have ended us instead of the nukes.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you remember that scene in Breaking Bad where he's like, you ever think about when if you've possibly lived your life too long? When's the moment in your life where if you just lived up to that point, that would have been the perfect time for you to die?
And he was talking about Alice in Wonderland. Right?
I think so. I don't know what else it could have been. I
love that was a real answer. He was like, it's a shitty movie he saw, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do this like whole speech as a bit, and nobody will get it." This is funny for me and the writer. It's quite a shitty movie I saw, and I wish I'd never seen it.
All right, that's funny. All right, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, cool. I'm not in Pro Tools. All right.